of the first decisions you will make after killing your first deer is how the meat will be processed. Are you going to take that animal to a professional butcher, or are you going to do all the processing and meat cutting on your own? There are pros and cons to both, so in this video I want to talk about both, give you information on how you can do both, and then you can make an informed decision. First, let's talk about the processor. There are a lot of good things about taking your meat to a professional butcher, especially if it's your first time killing a deer. Since the processor is doing all the work for you, all you have to do is drop your deer off to them. Most of the time, all the prep you have to do is field dress that deer. You drop the deer off, the next time you will see your meat is when it's in small, portion-based packages, ready to freeze or ready for you to cook for your family. Another pro about taking your deer to a professional butcher is they will know how to do portion-based packaging of your meat. Right here with me, I have a few samples of meat that I had done at a professional butcher when I was hunting out of state. The reason this is so beneficial is, as you can see, this little pack of venison burger is in a 1-pound package. When I dropped my meat off, they had a checklist of how I wanted my meat cut and also how much meat I wanted in each package. Just as there are several pros about taking your meat to a professional butcher, there are a few cons. First and foremost, you don't with 100% certainty know if it's your meat or what you're exactly getting back. There is a chance that maybe someone else's meat gets mixed in with yours when they're grinding your burger. Now let's talk about DIY butchering and some of the pros to it. Perhaps, at least in my opinion, the biggest pro to DIY butchering is you get the full hunting experience. From getting your hunting license, killing your deer, all the way to procuring your own meat. It really is the most intimate way that you can have a hunting experience. You know everything about your meat and how it's been handled, so that's a big draw to people who cut up and process their own whitetail venison. Just like we have some valid pros to cutting up and processing your own meat, there are some reasonable cons that we need to talk about as well. If this is your first deer and you're a new whitetail hunter, there are some costs associated with butchering the venison. The first thing you're gonna need is a vacuum sealer. A vacuum sealer is gonna allow you to package your meat in vacuum bags, seal that, and it's gonna allow you to get the most amount of time as possible out of your meat while it's in the freezer. Another big ticket item that you're gonna need is a grinder. They make small ones all the way down to things that attach to a mixer in your kitchen. If you're gonna do sausage, burger, or any other type of ground meat, you need a grinder in some form. Obviously, you'll need a cutting board or some sort of hard surface that you can cut on, and probably most of all, you're gonna need a really good, high-quality, sharp knife to cut up your meat with. For me, there's a few features that I look for specifically in a butcher knife when I wanna process my own meat, and this is probably the perfect butchering knife. This knife has a 6-inch blade, and as you can see, it's curved. I love a long curved blade for cutting up meat because it's perfect for removing the back straps and the tenderloins, but it's also long enough to get in, debone a hind quarter, trim all the silver skin off the meat. It really can do just about anything you need for meat cutting. So we've covered a lot, and if you are an entry-level whitetail hunter, you might be nervous about making the leap into cutting up your own deer meat the first time. If you are, I would encourage you to take your meat to a butcher and maybe even ask them if you could stand in while they do it. That way you get some knowledge on how to actually process your own meat. If you are ready to make the jump, you need to invest in your knowledge, invest in your equipment, and you will get high-quality, tasty venison.